Good evening. Hi, everybody. How's it going? It's going pretty good, says Ana. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Did everybody have a nice dinner? I had kitchen sink cookies, which went with the kitchen sink theme of today's thingamajiggy. Because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to talk about. So, as some of you may have seen, I did a poll, and Ana says, I made Nor rice bowl. It was gross. Also had a snack pack pudding. Oh no, that's too bad. Oh, gross. Yeah. Nor, why you do me like that? Anywho, hi, Abby Jean. It is a cherry Coca-Cola Zero today. Hi, Nicole. Hello. Just finished folding laundry. Wow. Wow. I did that once. Never again. And one of my butterflies fell off the tree. Not the tree behind me, but the tree in the corner. It's bamboo. It has butterflies on it. One fewer than it did 30 seconds ago. Anyway, so I had a super busy and productive morning. I picked up, oh, Anna says I have 3 loads of unfolded laundry sitting in my hampers. Ah, I sneezed just thinking about it. I must be allergic to your detergent. Abby Jean says, ooh, I love your shirt and tiara combo. Thank you. This is the tiara. Abby Jean says, bless you. Thank you. So, yes, I picked up a prescription at the drugstore. I went to the town dump to drop off a bunch of electronics, which helped get my sunroom a little bit tidier so we can start eating out there because it's starting to get a little warmer. I dropped some stuff off at the thrift store for similar reasons. I got gas and I did some grocery shopping. So that was this morning, and then I just kind of hung out, did some reading, took a nap, stuff. Anna says the Chronicles of Narnia is what came to mind. Very pretty. Thank you. I have one that's very similar to this, but it's like even taller. And that's when this is like, I call this my Dark Fae Princess tiara. And the really tall one is my Dark Fae Queen or Dark Fae Empress tiara. Yes, very Chronicles of Narnia, except that I'm like Jadis or something. And it's just like, I am going to be like offering Edmund some Turkish delight, and he'll never be the same. Anyway, so like I said, I think some of you will have seen the poll that I put up. Oh, Ana says, I have people on the hunt for Charmed, the 90s version, and Supernatural at their thrift stores. I'm trying to collect them all. I will I will keep an eye out. Are you talking like just the DVDs, or are you like also looking for like novel tie-ins? The only box set of DVDs I saw at the library sale I went to on Saturday were for 24. And then today, the ones I saw at the thrift store were NCIS and CSI. I don't know if it was CSI Original Recipe or CSI Miami. It was not Supernatural. It was not Charmed. It's interesting. This is, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. I was talking to some high school kids because I was doing a blood drive at their high school. And I was saying that I like Supernatural, and one of them's like, "Oh, I like Charmed." And he said, "I think Charmed is just like the female version of Supernatural." And I said, "Well, Supernatural came after Charmed." But the thing I thought about, I never really watched a lot of Charmed, but the thing about Supernatural versus Charmed is that Charmed is very rooted in a place. They live in San Francisco. They have a house. Whereas until the later seasons, Sam and Dean do not have a house. They have the Impala and they have Bobby's house, but for a while they don't have anything at all, and then they get the bunker. But anyway, but at the time I was doing the blood drive, they didn't have the bunker yet, and it was just like kind of like, well, yeah, I kind of see where he was coming from with that argument, but also for me, a lot of it was about being rooted in place or not having roots in a place. Anna says the DVD sets. NCIS is also excellent, but I stopped watching after my favorite characters got offed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you talking about Sophia Loren's daughter-in-law? the One of the characters who got off was played by a woman who was married to one of Sophia Loren's sons, or at least she was at the time. I don't know if she still is. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so yeah, like okay, so back to what I was saying about the poll is that I had some options, and one of them was free for all, which is the one that got the most votes. Although some people were interested in my spring hopefuls, and I put up that post on that poll on Friday before I went to the library book sale. And at the library book sale, I kind of lost it a little bit and bought a bunch of stuff. So free for all, I think, is actually going to mean book haul. If people are interested, which I mean, I guess if you voted for free for all, you were like, I will, whatever happens. And the reason I called it kitchen kitchen sink and use that particular, oh, Anna says, absolutely, all caps with an exclamation mark. Love the enthusiasm. Thank you. Appreciate it. Feel so validated. Anyway, if you looked at the thumbnail for this, it's a picture of a bunch of books with a faucet over them. That is because the library book sale did sort of this break room takeover. Like it was in a community, they have a nice large community room that has a little alcove with like a sink and a fridge and some other stuff like that for hosting community events. I don't actually think it's the break room for the staff. I think they have their own thing. I'm not sure. But most of the books were in the community room, but the mass market and trade paperback fiction were jammed into that little kitchenette. And I sent that picture to my sister, and she goes, she thought that maybe the faucet, like when you turn it on, it dispenses books, like they just pour out of it instead of water. And then I was like, well, what's it? I didn't check in the freezer to see what's in the ice cube trays. And she said, tiny little cold books. And I said, maybe it's like Ice Planet Barbarians. That's what's in the freezer. Hot and cold running books. Nicole says, always up for a book haul. I grabbed a handful of cotton candy taffy, so I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Abby Jade says, yes, IPB. Well, I said to my sister, I said, Ice Planet Barbarians. I don't know. I think she knows what that is, but I doubt she's read it. I don't know. And I said, and maybe little tiny novelizations of The Empire Strikes Back. So you have Hoth and not Hoth. Okay, so in the vlog that I posted on Sunday, gosh, was that only yesterday? I did so much stuff today that it feels kind of like it's Tuesday or Wednesday. I feel like this is midweek motivation instead of book talk with Sock. Anyway, in that video, I did talk a little bit about some of the stuff I got. So I'm just going to go over that really quickly for those of you who are interested but haven't seen the vlog yet. I can't even remember what that vlog was. Oh, that was another library versus reader versus library due dates. That's right, because they suddenly showed up. All of a sudden the library's like, yeah, you need to bring those back. So I did. Okay, so one of the things I was talking about is I want to increase my owned Stephen King, because I mean, you can get Stephen King in libraries, but I kind of like to have my own copies. And I'd especially like my own copies of the Dark Tower series, which I've read it at least 3 times. Some of those books, I started reading it when the 3rd book came out. and then there are 7 books altogether, and so I have read some of those earlier books. I have read more times than later books, but I've read all the way through at least twice, I think actually more like 3 times. Anyway, so I found the first 3 books that were in 3 different places in the book sale. I found them in mass and trade paperbacks from Plume, and I'm hoping that Plume continued to publish them, but I'm not sure because Plume might not even be in business anymore. So I'm gonna keep my eye out. By the way, the prices on here, just FYI, so you get an idea of the kinds of deals I was able to score. Mass markets were 50 cents, trade paperbacks were $1, and hardbacks were $2, just so you know. And I also got this Just After Sunset, which is a volume of short stories by Stephen King, including one I really like. At some point, I think somebody got 30% off at Barnes and Noble. And it looks blurry because it's got this kind of holographic effect kind of a thing with the lines. Anyway, and also I used to have this book and I got rid of it ages ago, and I kind of wished I hadn't, so I bought it, and that is The Stand. This is the complete and uncut edition, which came out just a year or two after I read the original for the first time. So I'm due for a reread of The Stand. I haven't read it since I think it was about 10 years ago, and I usually reread it a little bit more than once every 10 years, so very much due for a reread on that. Also by Stephen King is this mass market from Hard Case Crime, The Colorado Kid, which is basically a novella. He's published, I think, 3 books with Hard Case Crime, The Colorado Kid, and also in trade paperback, Joyland and Later. And I have Later, but not Joyland. But anyway, I just like these hard case crime, and I have some other hard case crime books by other people. I just really like the design and what they publish, so that was a nice little find. And then also from the horror department, I did not realize that this was book 2, and it is Day by Day Armageddon: Beyond Exile by J.L. Bourne, which is a sequel to Day by Day Armageddon was the name of the first book, and then this one has the subtitle. I need to check. My library only has it as a downloadable resource, which it's in my library consortium, but not in a library, but it's limited only to people from certain branches, and it's not in my branch, in my city library. So it might be on Kindle Unlimited. I haven't checked yet, but I'm going to be looking into that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So those are the, I think that's it on the horror speculative fiction front. That I honestly don't remember. I think the rest of it might well be romance. Oh no, YA science fiction reboot by Amy Tintera. If anybody wants me to read the summaries or go into it in more depth, I will. Just give me a shout out in the comments. Just give me a holler in the comments. Just need to take a little break. Anybody have anything they want to comment before I move on? Good stuff, says Abby Jean. I'm hoping. I know we all know each other from historical romance, so I know this is just Stephen King and so on is not necessarily going to be everybody's bag. I have more trade paperbacks to share. I don't even quite remember what I got, because once I decided after I talked to Ana and Abby Jean, I think, were both supportive of my doing this as a haul. And so once I decided that I was going to be doing today's show as a haul, I just left the books in their bags in the other room. I didn't put them on Goodreads or anything because I wanted to be somewhat surprised all over again by what I did. Ana says, I'm eyeballing the Stephen King. I'm also making a grocery list, she says. Abby Jean says, a gift to yourself from yourself. And I love to be surprised. Oh, speaking of surprises, I also have some book mail. From the lovely Nicole. Should I open that now or wait for what? Look at this pretty purple envelope she sent it in. Book mail. And I think she sent me, this is Nicole who sent this to me, so thank you, Nicole. Oh, yes, I'm hoping it arrived safely to you. Well, it seems like it's very well packaged. Nice job on that, and very pretty as well. I think you sent a second package. I think we talked about this earlier today, and it hasn't gotten here yet. It said it was going to get here today, but it also said it hadn't even arrived at my local post office. So I'll have book mail that I can open on Midweek Motivation. I have a pair of scissors, but will I need them? This is just a really nice little envelope. Okay, I am going to need the scissors. I skipped Arm Day for the last several decades. I mean, is it really skipping Arm Day if you never did Arm Day? Okay. We discussed what you were sending me, but I don't remember now. So this will be another delightful surprise. Aha! This is Lisa Kleypas, Worth Any Price. And it matches the envelope. Very nicely done. Well marketed. Unfortunately, the publisher decided to slap this perma sticker. It's not really a sticker, it's just on the cover that kind of clashes. Okay, Avon. Nicole says, yep, oh, strange. I sent them at the same time, but who knows, LOL. Well, yeah, I know, because all along they were just like going through, and I was tracking the package, and it was just like everything was the same until today, when it was just like, well, actually, I assumed it was going to be the same. And then when I went out to the mailbox, there was only one package there, and I came back in and it said, you'll get it by the end of day today, even though last heard from it was in Philadelphia, presumably on its way to Springfield, Mass. And I was like, they're not gonna, even if it gets to the post office, to the local post office by the end of the day, they're not gonna make a separate trip for media mail. That's just not how that works. So I don't know what they were doing. Should probably be here tomorrow or Wednesday, hopefully. And Ana says, Lisa is an author that I own and keep seeing but have not read yet. I have bits and pieces of series, but it's incomplete. And then she adds, I despise the stickers you can't remove. Yeah, I mean, it's not even a sticker. It's made to look like a sticker, but it's not even like bumped up or anything. It's just like printed on there because, oh, there's a bookmark. A bookmark. Book boyfriends are better than real ones. Okay. Thank you. And Abby Jean says, Lisa Kleypas is quintessential historical romance. I recommend starting with Again the Magic, then going on to The Wallflowers. I also love Then Came You. I don't know where this is in that continuity. You are so welcome, says Nicole. And she gave me a purple heart because she knows how to coordinate. Well done. Very well done. Yeah, I don't know where this falls in the Lisa Kleypas continuity. I have actually not read any Lisa Kleypas. I should be holding it up over to my left. so that it's against a more plain background so you can see it better. So sweet, Nicole, says Abby Jean. Yes, it is. It's very sweet. Bookmark. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So very nice indeed. Okay. Oh, there was another thing I scored at the book and bake sale. I got lemon bars. They're very good. I think we still have a couple left. You know what I'll be doing right after the live stream is over? I'll be going downstairs and seeing if I can drum up any interest in lemon bars. And Mom really liked the lemon bars, so I don't think that'll be too hard to do. Anyway, the lemon bars, I think there were 6 on a plate. They had little toothpicks in the middle so that they could prop up some plastic wrap. And I got to keep the plate, which is Corel. Nicole says, I have not read it yet. I noticed I had 2 copies, so I wanted to find it a good home. Oh, yeah, that's right, because we were talking like maybe we would buddy read it. Like I said, I haven't read any Lisa Kleypas, so, you know. Yeah, that's another buddy read. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, I got to keep the plate, which is Corel. And it's just like a nice plate. Whoops. With ivy around the edges. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it for anything or give it to Goodwill or what, but I have it. Woo, pretty, says Anna. Yes, as you can see, you can't see because it's too dark, but those fairy lights on the bookcase, those are wrapped up with some ivy garland that Megan gave me in the gift exchange back in December. I actually fashioned them into a tiara for a video. Ada says, my brain, ooh, shiny. I know, it was shiny and it had lemon bars on it. Shiny and sweet. Anywho, but I have like, I can do ivy on ivy on ivy. Okay, so now we have a nice pile of whatchamacallits, trade paperbacks. As you can see from the back of this one, it has a border sticker on it. So, you know, that's a little older. Okay, one that I mentioned in the vlog, which you may or may not have seen, I know at least a couple of you have, is I do like the Plated Prisoner series, Plated Prisoner by Raven Kennedy. And I want to get my own set of it, but it can be kind of expensive. However, I found Glow, which is the 4th book in the series, was $1. So I got that. So, you know, and I found some copies on Pango that are more than $1, but they're not super expensive. It's just a little bit bent on the cover because of the way I had it in the bag. You know, I'll just put something heavy on it for a couple of days and it'll be fine. But it's a very, very good condition. There's very minimal folding on the spine. Speaking of, ooh, shiny, Glow. Okie doke. And ever since I started wearing tiaras for YouTube purposes, now when I'm out on the town and I have my sunglasses and I just perch them up on my forehead, I think, am I wearing a tiara while I pump gas? Well, that's on brand. And then I realize it's just my sunglasses. Anna says, I've been curious about that series, but never gave in to the urge to purchase it. Well, if you ever decide, if there's ever like a special on Kindle Unlimited, or you want to just like get a Kindle Unlimited subscription for like 1 month and read a whole bunch of Kindle Unlimited, or like I said, if there's a special on membership, Plated Prisoner is on Kindle Unlimited. So there is that potential. Okay. Now let's see what we have here on these. Okay, I have this. A lot of these, I ended up getting stuff that is part of a series and not necessarily the first book. And Some of these I'll be able to get from the library. Some of them I'm not sure how necessary it is to read them. Like when I was doing my dive in or drop out on the Kristen Fian series, I looked into it, and one of the things Kristen Fian said was you didn't really have to read them in order, that you would get characters overlapping. And she's like, you'll see, like if you read Judgment Road, you'll see this couple and they'll be together, but if you want to read how they got together, then that was the last book of the previous series. And so she was like, but you don't really have to read them in order, and you don't have to read all of them. So this one is called Spellbinder. And if anybody's read any of these or heard of them or whatever, please let me know what's going on, because I just grabbing stuff. I mean, I can tell myself, well, it's only $1, and also it supports library programs. Spellbinder by Thea Harrison, which is I'm just going to read I'll read the first paragraph of the summary. Okay, from author Thea Harrison comes the latest story in the New York Times best-selling Moonshadow trilogy. Kidnapped while on tour, musician Sydney Martell is transported to the mystical land of Avalon. A human without magical ability, she is completely vulnerable to the deadly forces surrounding her. So, rock star or some kind of musician in a fae kingdom. I think I do have access to the first book through the library, or it might be on Kindle Unlimited. I can't remember. And it's getting a little warm in here. And I can't find my fan. There's my fan. It's warm in here, but I don't want to open the windows because, as soon as I open the windows, there will be a police car, 3 fire trucks, a cement mixer, and somebody moving their tractor, because that's where I live. Abby Jean says, I find it so difficult to read series out of order, but I really think sometimes that's the best way to do it. Well, one of those things I discovered in my most recent vlog was something I kind of had suspected about the Legacy of God series by Rena Kent, which is like totally unhinged dark romance. And I really had a fun time with the first book, God of Malice. But God of Pain, I just wasn't that into it. And when I read God of Malice, I was like thinking that if I were to continue with this series, I'd probably have a variable experience depending on what characters were being highlighted. And I think that I feel the same way about Kristen Fian and so on. So it's kind of nice to be able to skip the ones that I just don't find that interesting. I have to take off my robe, because my top is actually a robe that goes with this camisole chemise kind of deal. It is just really warm, like I said. I think I also need to get out the dehumidifier. Anyway, so, but the thing about this one is that it's a trilogy. It's not like Christine Fian, who, I mean, she wrote Dark Prince, was originally published in 1999. And I think she's like, 30 books into it now or something, and still going strong. So I think this is like more limited. It's not open-ended. And Plated Prisoner is done. Okay. I have this YA book by Jessica Warman called Between. It is, Elizabeth Valdar wakes up in the morning after her 18th birthday party on her family's yacht. And one of the things I like to enjoy on YouTube is yacht tour videos. And so I just like the idea. I like reading books that are set on ships, particularly on yachts. Yacht tour videos. I even have a candle called Sun Deck. And I will be whipping that out for this. Although I actually read the first couple of pages, and I don't think it's that big of a yacht. I don't think it's a tri-deck with a sun deck and everything, but who knows? Every deck's a sun deck. Anna says, I finally purchased myself an oscillating fan for my room to cut down on my miserable nights. I think you will be very pleased with that purchase. Very pleased indeed. I have a non-oscillating fan, which is about what I need. I mean, we have central air conditioning, but I think it's starting to get a little bit better. But I had a very special operation just about 2 years ago. It's the second anniversary of my very special operation was March 10th. And so it seems to be getting better, but I do occasionally experience heat disproportionate to the actual temperature of the house or whatever. Hot flashes, basically. They're getting better though. I asked my mom when I started getting them a few months after the surgery. I asked my mom, I said, how long did your hot flashes last? Like, not in the moment, but like how many years, how many months, how many years was it before they ended? And she got this really sheepish look on her face. And I was like she was about to give me bad news. And I was like, what? And she goes, well, I never really had hot flashes. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's good because they're miserable. Ana says, oh, have you watched Sailing La Vagabonde? It's a vlog for a couple who have been sailing over the years and they've had two sons. I like watching it for relaxing vibes. And she adds, I wish I could have a special operation. I was told I'm too young, even though I'm infertile and have a high chance of developing uterine cancer. Good golly. I still get hot flashes. Oh man, that's the worst of all the worlds. Yeah. They I think they used to do those operations so frequently and without really talking to the people who were getting the operations and so on, that now they've swung in the opposite direction of being really, really stingy with them. So pendulums swing, and yeah, that blows. Okay. The other thing is that it can have other health implications. So yeah, which is this whole can of worms. So anyway, so that's Between by Jessica Warman. It is some kind of I don't know, it's a mystery. It's a mystery and a family secrets kind of thing. So I'm into it. And then I don't even know what this is. This is called The Edge of Never. I think this is a standalone by J.A. Radmirsky. Oh, this is, it is contemporary romance, it says. Uh, I'm going to read this. I'm going to go ahead and read this because, sometimes life takes you off course. 20-year-old Carmen Bennett thought she knew exactly where her life was going. But after a wild night at the hottest club in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina, she shocks everyone, including herself, when she decides to leave the only life she's ever known and set out on her own. Grabbing her purse and her cell phone, Cameron boards a Greyhound bus ready to find herself. Instead, she finds Andrew Parrish. That's just the first paragraph of the blurb. Let me know if you want to hear more. Ana says, I still want to get more into horror thriller stories, and I reread some of the young adult books. I love to see if I still enjoy them. Reread some of the books. Yeah, I think horror thriller. I mean, we talked a little bit about thriller when I had Megan on the show. I guess that was 2 weeks ago. And we'll probably get into it a little bit when I am talking science fiction. That's going to be 2 weeks from today, science fiction, and Abby Jean will be joining me on screen, hopefully. That's the plan anyway, to talk about science fiction, and there will be some discussion of horror, but I think I might do a separate one just for horror if people are interested, and Ana's interested, so all it takes is one person. Ada says, leaves home to find self, finds man, and immediately changes plans. Sigh. Well, let's see. Does she actually do that? Yeah, he does become the center of her daring new life. And he's got a secret, and apparently he lives like there's no tomorrow, and he persuades her to do things she never thought she would, and shows her how to give in to her deepest, most forbidden desires. But he's got a secret. Yeah, she's finding herself through finding someone else. Yeah, sigh. Okay, and then we have okay, this is the first book of a series. I did not realize this. I think this is self-published, or no, it's not. This is the author's note says this is Forgotten Secrets, Vanishing Ranch, the series, book 1 by Christy Barrett. Christy writes both mystery and romantic suspense novels that are clean with underlying messages of faith. Her books have won the Daphne du Maurier Award for Excellence in Suspense and Mystery, etc. So I don't necessarily dislike things that are based in a certain kind of evangelical Christianity. However, I find that when that becomes the focus of the book, sometimes they're more didactic and less entertaining. So I'm going to give it a shot. But I mean, I have enjoyed reading faith-based romance, some of it. I read Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham, and I like that, but I've read a lot more where I just read the first few pages and I was like, this is not for me. I'm not Christian and I'm not particularly religious in any regards, so may or may not be for me. I'll give it a fair shot. So we'll see. I do occasionally pick up faith-based books at these library sales, and it's usually because I didn't realize that's what they were. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll do a vlog just about that. Everything's a vlog now for me. And it says, I tend to avoid heavily religion-based books because of trauma. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any religious-based trauma myself other than like hearing people like me and my family condemned all the time by people who claim that they're religious. But yeah, I mean, what she says, like I said in her author bio, clean with underlying messages of faith. So I'm not sure, because what she says is an underlying message of faith might be really in your face or it might not. I mean, I read a fantasy series not too long ago that was by a woman who is a youth pastor, and I didn't really pick up. I mean, there were messages of faith in the books, but they weren't like any specific faith. They were just like more about being good people and trying your hardest under difficult circumstances and that kind of thing. It wasn't even faith-based like Chronicles of Narnia faith-based. Okay, but yeah, religious trauma is a thing that people experience, and it sucks. Okay, and let's see. I have I think this is another standalone. This is romantic suspense, and it is Broken by Shiloh Walker. Again, these are writers I'm not familiar with, I haven't heard of, so. Anna says, I don't mind it being mentioned, any faith really, because I believe everyone has the right to their own faith. I just don't like it being shoved down my throat. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, especially when you've experienced some sort of trauma that is religiously based or religion adjacent, that's going to be a book that you just don't want to engage with, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, of course. I try to keep an open mind. I mean, I did go to a Christian divinity school for my master's degree so that I could really learn about Christianity from people who were practicing it. It was a fairly liberal divinity school, but still. So, I'll give it a shot and see what happens. Nicole describes it as the magic of the DNF. Well, I was reading a lot of theology and stuff that was very boring, and I would have liked to have DNF'd it, except that I was going to have an exam on it. Okay. I think I can put my matching robe. I love these matching robe and slip dress sets. They just always make me feel so put together when I'm lounging around my house. Yeah. Like I said, I have enough of these now, and I have access to more at the library, that I may actually do a vlog about that. I don't know. And Nicole says, some people are like, DNF? What? I DNF left and right. It's 100% prioritizing my mental health. Yeah. And the other thing I feel about DNFing is that I feel like it's kind of not very fair to the writer. it's not fair on myself to continue a reading experience that I'm just not enjoying. And I also think it's kind of unfair to the book and or writer because I'm just going to end up if I force myself to read something that I'm just not that into, I'm going to end up like feeling kind of resentful towards the book and or the writer. And all they did was write a book that wasn't for me, and that's. I think as a writer myself, I've written fan fiction and I've written nonfiction, and I always feel like if somebody doesn't want to read something I've written, but then I don't want them to read it if they don't want to, or if they start it and give it a good faith effort and don't like it, then that's that's the break. Them's the breaks, and I appreciate that they tried it, and if they didn't like it, I don't want them to force themselves to read something that's just not enjoyable to them. That's not fun for me to think about as a writer, and it's not fun for me as a reader. And Abby Jean says, Nicole, you are the DNF queen. And Nicole says, indeed I am. And Nicole says, life is too short to be stuck in anything. Abby Jean says, you're a writer. Have you been published? Nonfiction, yes. Fan fiction, you self-publish and yeah. Ana says, just because we didn't enjoy it doesn't mean someone else wouldn't. That's how I see it. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's particularly helpful. Why would you want people to, as a writer, why would you want somebody to force themselves to read something that they're not enjoying? Then they're just, like I said, they're just going to, get increasingly frustrated and angry with you and with the book. And what was like what was potentially could have been a review on Goodreads that says, I DNF'd this at 20% because it just wasn't for me. This is why. And if you don't have a problem with those kinds of things, then you'll probably like it. Versus a 1-star review, which is somebody who forced themselves to read the book that says, I read this all the way to the end and it was the most miserable experience of my life. And then there is like this long screed. And, because they just let it build up. And, that's not helpful for the reader or the writer. Okay. So yeah. So my publication experience has been fairly limited, but and it's been nonfiction. So if you want to read about Nellie Taylor Ross, whoo boy, have I got you covered. And then this is a series called Immortal Guardians by Diane Duvall. I don't know if anybody's familiar. I have Broken Dawn and Awaken the Darkness, and I think I don't even know. I don't know. I think this is like books 6 and 8 in a series. I don't know. I'll look into it. I did look into it actually. Never heard of it. Covers look interesting, says Ana. Yeah, let's take a look at this. This guy is it old science, well, old now, science fiction series called Fringe with Joshua Jackson. He kind of looks like Joshua Jackson in Fringe. Not Joshua Jackson in Dawson's Creek. Joshua Jackson as Peter in Fringe. And then this is a couple. They like getting caught in the rain. Let me see. Immortal Guardians. I don't know. It long and short reviews says fans of paranormal romance who haven't discovered this series yet are really missing out on something extraordinary. I can't remember if my library had it or if it was Kindle Unlimited or what, but I know I found out I had access to some of these. And RT book reviews, I think that's what the Romance Times, utterly addictive. Publishers Weekly called it fast paced and humorous. The series as a whole. So, and oh wow, that seems to be the end of the trade paperbacks. So now we have some mass markets. If folks are ready for that action. Break and Stretch. Aside from, of course, this mass market that was my lovely, lovely gift from Nicole. Okay, some of these are step backs. Many of them, let's see, step back, not a step back, step back, not a step back, step back, not a step back, step back. Okay. Don't hold out on us, says Abby Jean. I'm building suspense. Okay, so not those are the step backs. So I have 4 step backs and 3 non-step backs. I got this. This is Fawcett, and this is from 1992, I think. I know I haven't been saying what year they were published or how long they are. This is like 100 and oh wow. It's 188 pages. It was published by Fawcett. It's not numbered, but it definitely has the look of a category Regency romance. This is Wife Errant by Joan Smith. I have no intention of really being a loose woman. You know, Lord Revel. I just want Mama to think so. So she doesn't want to be loose. She just wants the reputation. That's interesting. With Mama dashing scandalously about Bath playing the young flirt to avenge Papa's improprieties, Tess Marchant realized that neither she nor her younger sister stood a chance of any sort of entree into polite society, much less of finding a husband. Though woefully ignorant of the ways of the world, Tess decided that a few secret trysts of her own would spur rumors of indiscretion and give Mama a taste of her own medicine. Lord Revel, a notorious rake in his own right, was only too happy to play the part of ardent paramour. Tess was by no means an antidote. She was, in fact, so charming that a harmless flirtation might be difficult to maintain. So it's like fake one night stand. You can see why I decided that this was something I wanted to pick up. Just now, though, when I was opening it to see how many pages it was, there is like all of these notes on the back, which I don't know if it's about the book or if these are phrases this person read in the book or something that they wanted to use. They wrote down things like doing a flit and went off into gales of laughter. He scowled, snipped, sniped, griped. I mean, somebody was writing a whole bunch of stuff in here. N'est-ce pas? I don't know what that is all about, but Abby Jean says a loose woman. OMG. Well, somebody actually did make some notes. Like here on page 7, they underlined because Lord Revel is at the top of the trees and Lord James is only a lower twig. So anyway, I don't think this is going to take me very long to read, but it sounds like it might be a heck of a good time. Let's see. And then we have a anthology of 3 novellas. This is a total of 408 pages, 3 novellas by Katie McAllister, Molly Harper, and Jessica Sims. And the book is called The Undead in My Bed. And these are all vampire. And somebody once paid $1.50 for this at Ocean State Job Lot. I have never seen books at Ocean State Job Lot, but this is copyright 2012, so it's been since I moved to Connecticut and started shopping at Ocean State Job Lot. And then this is the first book of a new series, first in a sizzling. Stormy says, popping in to say hi while on a sprint. Oh, okay. You missed Wife Errant by Joan Smith, which is like Fawcett 1992, Regency, 188 pages long, and she is pretending to be a loose woman, and she isn't. And this lord, who is a rake, is helping her to pretend to be a loose woman who isn't. Well, I appreciate your stopping by in the middle of the sprints, because you know that's a when you go back, say hi to everyone from me. And Stormy says that, oh, that sounds like a fun book. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. When I after this is finished and it becomes available for playback, I'll try to remember to go in and do some chapters or something so you can see all the stuff I talked about. I'm just now getting into my mass markets that I picked up on Friday. I've been going through a bunch of I got some Stephen King and some mass market paranormals and stuff like that. So this is the first in a sizzling new series. This was in 2013, and this is Last Kiss Goodnight by Gina Showalter. So this is a new series that has to do. Okay. It's like an alien thing. This dude gets kidnapped from Earth and he's now in a zoo on a different planet. And the zoo owner's daughter is taking care of him. So anyway, he's not happy about being a captive on a distant planet. Okay, so now we're ready for. That sounds interesting, says Abby Jean. Yeah. It says, like I said, it's the start of a new series. So I don't know. That was from 2013. So I'm not sure exactly where she went with that. I might actually, I have some books from Gina Showalter that are part of series, and I don't know. Maybe it's part of that series. We'll see. Abby Jean says, the heroes are never the captives. If only she was an alien. I think she is. I mean, he's on Black Ops agent Solomon Judah awakens caged and bound in a twisted zoo where otherworlders are the main attraction. Vika Lucas, the owner's daughter, is tasked with Solo's care and feeding. So I think she is of this other society, this other planet society. And it's a society where they have bias cut evening gowns. So, yeah. Abby Jean says, by definition, she would be an alien, but I meant anatomy wise. Well, I know it looks like this dress isn't hiding much, but who knows what's underneath this train? Maybe I don't know. I'll report back to you. Okay, now are we ready for some step backs? Okay, this one's a keyhole step back, and I think we learned why keyhole step backs are a tale, says Abby Jean. At the very least, says Sock Marionette. This is from 1989. No, tentacles. See, that's now we're cooking with gas. That's what I was thinking. She had tentacles or something. Yeah. Or maybe it's just, I mean, this train kind of goes off into ribbons that maybe it's not a dress. Oh, bring on the goodies, says Ana. Okay, now this one is a step back that is a keyhole step back from 1989, and you can see why keyholes aren't necessarily they're fun and everything. However, over the years, this is kind of detached a little bit. This is The Naked Heart by Jacqueline Briskin, and this is like a 530-page potboiler about two women who have rivalries, and World War II is a plot point. So I believe it might have actually been made. If it wasn't made into a mini series, I'd like to know why. But this is what inside the step back, you have like these pictures of people. And I was going to look it up on IMDb, and then I forgot because, like I said, I just kind of shoved the bags into a corner so that I wouldn't spoil myself, so that I could be surprised all over again. I think Stormy had to duck back out again because she is hosting or co-hosting sprints. she left a comment on my reading vlog, my last vlog, where I was talking about how I just kind of showed a couple of books and then from the haul, and I didn't do a full haul. And she's like, "No haul." And I said, "Well, it's gonna be during the live stream while you're live streaming with somebody else, but you can always watch it back." Oh my goodness. Warmth. Okay. Now, more step backs. I think the rest of these are historical romances. Because this is, like I said, this is one of those rich people behaving in a weird way over several decades. And I love those kinds of stories, but not everybody is into them. Okay, we have The Beloved Scoundrel by Iris Johansen. And let me see, it's a thrilling tale of abduction, seduction, and surrender that sweeps from the shimmering halls of Regency England to the decadent haunts of a notorious rogue. It is, wow, it is 437 pages long, and I believe it was 1994. And this is the front. Got kind of a stained glass thing. I think I might have read this, and I think maybe the chick in this is a stained glass artist, because Iris Johansen went through this period where she was like very into discovering different historic professions and having her female protagonists participating in these historical. I think, oh, my hair! It's trying to make a break for it. Oh, Dad. Anyway, and she researched these professions or artistic endeavors very carefully, and then she'd put it on the page. That's kind of what she did with the Eve Duncan series, but that's contemporary because Eve Duncan is a forensic sculptor. Iris Johansen, when she first started writing those stories, she gets very into like the physical process of doing that. Interesting if you like that sort of thing. Anyway, but here is the step back. And I'm not sure. This looks like Russia, but the description says that it takes place at least partially in Serbia. So this might be Serbian architecture rather than Russian. Like I said, I think I did read this many, many years ago, like when it came out. So that would have been like 30 years ago. And we have another one of the Lindsay Sands reverse step backs, where the like half naked dude is on the cover, and then the step back is some beautiful real estate. This one is Surrender to the Highlander. And it is Avon, but at least they didn't. Oh, they did. It's Avon, and they put a perma sticker on here, printed a sticker right onto the thing. But this one's a lot more discreet, and the colors don't clash. So we like that. Anyway, Surrender to the Highlander. First time in print, and this is from 2018. 19. Oh, this is Victor Godino. The cover, not the step back. The dude, the human figure. And one last book from this particular haul. My Dark Prince by Julia Ross. Horsey. And I think this might be Fabio. They got blurbs by Mary Baylog. And this is from 2000 and is 342 pages long. And seems to take place in the early 19th century, so Regency. Nice, says Abby Jean. Nice indeed. So that was the stuff I picked up from the book sale, and the plate, at least, from the bake sale, but not the goods that were upon the plate. Okay. Okay, so it's been about an hour. Do we want to hang out some more? I'm up for more if other people are, or we can take a break. I mean, call it a night. Abby Jean says I'm good to keep going. Yeah, I have a. I started a video like I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something. I have this. Anna says I'm up for more. I'm just browsing Pango. Hey, Kristen! Nice to see you. Nice to see you indeed. I was wondering, when are you going to the Philippines? Because I know, is that most of April that you're going to be gone, isn't it? I told my mom about April 9th, and then you're coming back like on the 26th or something. You're going to be gone for quite a while. Is my understanding. I mean, if you're traveling all the way to the Philippines, you might as well stay. Uh, as yuppers. I was telling my mom just this morning about your footage from the LA County or LA, was it the LA County Library or just the Los Angeles Library? And I was saying how now, apparently, as you were saying, that in California, if you're a California resident, with a state issued ID and everything, that you can get a library card from any book in the state. I mean, from any branch in the state, from any library in the state, which is true here in Connecticut, which has been true since I moved here in 2001. But Connecticut as a state has fewer people than Los Angeles County. It's a little bit bigger physically, but anyway. So she was quite impressed. My mom actually was a public librarian in California, and she worked in the Ventura County libraries. She worked in Ventura, uh, Thousand Oaks, and Simi Valley, which I think might be near where you are. I'm not sure. Okay, wait. Ana says, found Midnight Scoundrel on Pango. I might be placing in the order in the morning when I get paid. Haha. Midnight Scoundrel? Which one is that? And Kristen says it wasn't in New York, so it blew my mind. Well, yeah, I mean, again, New York is geographic. That's the thing, is I was kind of surprised because California is so large and has so many people, whereas Connecticut is smaller and much more densely populated. So, I mean, we're the third smallest state in the union. We're only Delaware and Rhode Island are the only states that are smaller than we are physically. Okay, so okay. If we want to keep going, if you want more hall stuff, more setback. Kristen, you're small but mighty. We are. We're kind of we do okay economically and educationally. Abby Jean says, "Oh, you have more to haul." Well, I have the books that I got when I went to Penny's Bookshelf in Milford. I talked about them. Was that last week or the week before? More hauls. I kind of showed them a little bit, but we didn't get into. I don't know how much of them I actually showed. Uh, or I have my spring hopefuls. I have to get up to get those, and I don't know if that's where. So I know we talked about some of these because Into the Sunset. I think was it Abby Jean and I were going to do a buddy read because this is on Kindle Unlimited, but it has a different title and it is revised text. Ana says, all of the book talk, all of it. I remember the other options on the poll were my Spring Hopefuls And I don't remember what the two other options were because there were, oh, Jeopardy, Storytime Jeopardy. And I don't even remember what the other one was. Nobody voted for Storytime Jeopardy or whatever the other one was. Oh, revised text, says Abby Jean. We'll have to look into that. Well, yeah. But here's the step back. Yeah, these are the ones I already talked about them during midweek motivation. Oh, Kristen, by the way, you got here just as my hair was starting to come down on its own. Abby Jean says, I'm interested in all the things, but we could only vote on one. Yeah, I don't even remember what all the options were. It was Spring Hopefuls, Anything and Everything Goes, Storytime Jeopardy, and I don't remember what the other one was. Now it's bugging me. My own poll, and I don't know. I don't know. It was my poll. I wrote that poll, but that was on Friday and it's Monday. So, and posts poll. Oh, it was AMA. Ask me anything. AMA. I'm faster. Okay, yeah, you get AMA. Sure, you bet. Why not? Okay, so yeah, I think I talked about these last week or the week before. I don't remember how much of them I showed. Snowfire. I think I showed these. I think I went into more detail than I remember doing. I have them sitting here because there's this video I've been working on since then. I think it was like since the day after that. I don't think it was last week, the week before. I don't remember now. Yeah, because I think Abby Jean, was it you who just? No, it was Nicole who just finished Yours Until Dawn, which I haven't read yet. Anyway, but I have this corner of my front room, which we don't use very often. It's like usually it gets the most use at Christmas because it's a great place to put the Christmas tree. Because you only get Christmas. Anyway. That's me, Yours Until Dawn. It was outstanding. Yeah, you said you liked it. And I was like, I don't even really remember what it was, other than that it has an absolutely fabulous step back and cover. Anyway. So this corner of the front room, last July, I got a recliner. And so I sometimes will sit down there in the morning if I get up before Mom does, and I want to go downstairs and have some coffee and get a start on the morning. I will go down there and read, and it's very nice. Anna says I actually have a spot to put my tree this year. I'm excited. Yes, fun. Nice when you can do that. Anyway, so I have the recliner, and I have like this little bookcase that I picked up at a garage sale last year, the year before, and it was everything was kind of jumbled and disorganized. And so what I'm doing is I cleared out that space, and I'm going to be putting stuff down there. I'm going to put a few candles down there to have on hand and some books. So that is a video that I'm working on very slowly because I just kind of keep shoving that project to the back, where I talk about like the stuff that I took out of that corner, what I'm going to put into that corner. And a lot of the books I got that time are going to go down there. And I got some other stuff that isn't romances. I want to have a nice variety of books there. And Abby Jean says, I DNF'd After Midnight by Teresa Medeiros, but I want to try Yours Until Dawn. Wasn't After Midnight a time travel deal? I remember you said that was not your favorite reading experience. Anyway. So that's a video I'm working on, and I want to get those books down there. And another thing I want to do, I still need to, like I said, I need to do some clips where I talk about the plans and stuff. I've done some of that already, and it's all kind of it's kind of jumbled in my mind right now. Sometimes I feel like I should go on a retreat and just like go stay in a hotel for a couple of days and just not be online. Abby Jane says, no, that one was Historical Paranormal Vampires, published in 2005. Oh, okay. I think I might have that, but I'm not sure. So, yeah, I'm thinking like I should just like go to a hotel and just like decompress and think about things. Or maybe I should just go for a walk in the woods. I don't know. I'm rambling. It's fun. Um, yeah. So another thing I might do is I did not realize Medieval March was a thing. So I missed it. But I might do Medieval May. I think that would be fun because I do like medieval stories. So I might do a Medieval May. I try to read at least one step back a week so that I have something to post for Step Back Saturday on Instagram. So yeah. So I have some medievals that I already pulled. I don't know. Mm. Let's see what else I have in here. I know I remember talking about The Silver Cane by Andrea Kane. The Silver Coin by Andrea Kane. Or is it The Silver Cane by Andrea Coin? And and Anna was like, "Oh yes, I have the gold coin by her, and it's about these cousins." And I saw the silver coin at the library sale, but I didn't buy it because I knew I had just gotten it. I didn't realize that Anna didn't have a copy. Otherwise, I would have picked it up and sent it to her. Nicole says, I need to pick a book to read from the top of my shelf. Reading prompt. So give me a number 1 through 16. 7. Oh, yeah, 7. I hope you tell us what you found. Ana says, I'll be back momentarily. I must retrieve food. I'm still searching for that book. I shall not rest until I find it. And Nicole says, thank you. Well, are you going to tell us what 7 turned out to be, or is there more that you want to do? Let's see. What else do we have here? Yes. Arizona Bride by somebody. Again, with a perma sticker on it. This has got to be Avon. No, this is Zebra. Mm-hmm. Nicole says Sadie's Highlander by Maeve Grayson. Her covers are incredible. And she says it's the start of a new series. Woohoo, dive in or drop out. And oh yeah, Deception, the Amanda Quick from the 90s with the Pinot cover, or the Pinot Step Back, was one that I didn't have. I have a fair number of these, but not all. And yeah, I think I did actually go into these in fairly fair detail. I'm going to step aside for just a moment and get my, I have this, actually, I think I'm going to pivot the computer so you can see. I have this spring shelf. I have a seasonal shelf, and I put some spring hopefuls on that shelf. It's right there. And I will go grab those books because I did that, like, I think I did that like at the beginning of the month, so I don't remember what's over there. Okay. And Abby Jean says, enjoy, Nicole. I should do another TBR jar pick. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's something I wanted to ask people about, get some feedback on this, is I wanted to have some more like chances for people to tell me what to read or to give me prompts or titles or something like that in polls. Is that something people would be interested in participating in? Or Do you want to just receive it? Do you want to just let it flow? Let me know. Okay, so I have my spring hopefuls now if people want to see this. Some of them, many of them are step backs. Heck yeah, says Abby Jean. Adore that idea, says Nicole. Because I have like different things. I mean, my category romances are not on Goodreads. I mean, there is the spreadsheet, which I'm still working on. Um, the but the historicals, the mass market paperback historicals and that kind of thing, those are on Goodreads. So people can go into Goodreads. I might put up a poll. I don't know. I don't know what the poll would be. I don't know. Or maybe solicit prompts. Hmm. Yeah. I need to get myself organized. As I've said, I think I am trying to pare down the inventory of books checked out from the library that I have so that I can concentrate on reading my own books without having to worry about getting books back to the library. And I think now I am down to 15 or 14 or 15. It'll be 15. It'll be 14 after today. That's the books I have checked out from the library. And I have some of my mom's books that she's done with, but I'm holding on to them because I wanted to read them as well. So they're not checked out to my account, but they are library books that I plan to read. Abby Jean says, awesome. So once I kind of get my library inventory down and can start concentrating on the books that I own, that's when I can just be like, okay, go ahead and suggest a book from my Goodreads list. And I want to do more of those category romance reading blogs because I really had a good time with that one. I was going to do another one in March. I did one in February. I was going to do one in March and just the month got away from me. So that one, I think I'll definitely ask for prompts. I mean, you can look at the spreadsheet as well, but I might ask for prompts. You can tell me like something with somebody's name in the title, something with a place name in the title, something with a certain color on the cover or a certain element on the cover, or something like that. I will figure that out, I suppose. I'll do like a short subject or a community post, and then people can leave comments. I haven't worked out the logistics of it yet. I'm just thinking aloud at this point. Maybe that's something we can talk about in during midweek motivation. Okay, so my spring hopefuls. Okay, this is 1067. So, like I said, I didn't realize there was medieval March, so I think I'm going to celebrate medieval May. Abby Jean says mustachioed man on cover. Yes, or fully clothed man on cover. Well, actually, this book has that. So I'm going to do medieval May, I think. But this is 1067. So 1 year after the Battle of Hastings. And this is Bold Breathless Nights by Penelope Neri. And you can see that he is fully clothed and she's kind of fully clothed. I don't know if he's helping her out of her dress or into her dress. And this is just about 500 pages long. It was published in 1989 by Zebra Books. So that is not a step back. It's all right there on the cover. Oh, and there's an additional embrace on the back. And a sword fight. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's that. And A Scandalous Deal by Joanna Shupe. I recently found out that she writes Mafia under a different name, Mira something or other. And I got to look into that business. I actually haven't read anything by her yet, but I will. I will. Mira, Milla, something like that. Let's see. So yeah, that is not a step back. I've never seen a Joanna Shupe step back. So also not a step back. It's got a barcode from King County Library System, which is in Washington. I got this off the book sale, the permanent library in Durham, which is one town south of me here in Connecticut. They have like these these shelves, like they do have library sales. That was where I had the romance only library sale, and Kristen Higgins was there signing books and supporting the library and stuff. It was very cool. Um, and but they also have like a little shelf where you can just buy stuff all the time. And I got The Perks of Loving a Wallflower, which looks like we've got some Sapphic Regency action here by Erica Ridley. And it was actually at one time part of the circulating system at the King County Library System in Washington, like literally across the country. And Abby Jean says, I need to read that series. I am reading through Shoop's backlist. And then she adds, yeah, her mafia pen name is Mila Finelli. I fear she's ruined me for all other mafia romance. I'm obsessed. Yeah, I've heard such good things about her, both as an historical writer. I've been hearing about her for a while. And also now that I know that she writes mafia, I've been hearing good things about her there too. And I haven't read anything by her yet. I have several titles by her though, just haven't gotten to them yet. Anyway, so we have Erica Ridley, The Perks of Loving a Wallflower, which somehow made it from, it's a decommissioned book from King County in Washington State, and now it's ended up at a library in Connecticut. Oh, if those covers could talk. Let's see. I think everything else here is a step back. I've been enjoying Mad Morelands by Candace Camp. So I want to read more of that by, this is The Marriage Wager, which I think is the second book. And this is pretty hubba hubba. Some of the Mad Morelands covers are actually, the step backs are actually not hubba hubba, but this one is. It's kind of a mixed bag there. And it looks like, yeah, that's the only one by her that I have that I pulled. Oh, and two more that are not step backs, because I put these, it's funny, I put these on the shelf on March. Actually, I think it was, no, it was before March, because I put these on the shelf. I guess it must have been in February. It's very warm in here. Can't open the window because of the traffic noise. And that was The Byronic Book Club by Amy Rose Bennett. I put that on the shelf, and then shortly, just like a week or so later, we chose the first book, Up All Night with the Good Duke, for the Tea and Biscuits book club. And having enjoyed that first book very much, I intend to continue on with these. But it was just a nice coincidence that we ended up selecting that book when I had already picked it to read. And like I said, I liked it a lot, and I'm going to continue with this series. And I think she has another one going now too. Oh, comments. Abby Jean says, I've been enjoying the Wild Winchester series too. I'm currently reading The Modiste Mishap as my sleep book. I am a little disappointed by the cover of The Perks of Loving a Wallflower, just because the brown-haired heroine should have short hair and prefers to dress in men's clothes, and the blonde heroine is plus-sized. Oh well, though, they were probably worried about them not selling. Let's see if I can find it and take a look. Where did I put that? I have got 4 million piles of stuff going on here. Ah, here it is. Ha ha. Yeah. These are very gender conforming in terms of dress and hair for the time, and they're also very slender. So yeah, okay. Well, thank you for the insight there. I appreciate the additional info. Okay, so yeah, so Byronic Book Club, the second 2 volumes of that I'm looking forward to. And then we have, oh, this is part of a series. I don't know how much of this I have, but Too Dangerous for a Lady by Jo Beverly. And I think I might have picked this one because it seems like it's more wintry. I think I might have picked this one because it was getting on toward late winter. It was like, I think I picked this in February, but it looks like it actually takes place in September. So I may defer this to the fall. And then if, let's see. Okay, here's a Western Frontier. Oh, it's this one. Yes. Branded Hearts by Shannon Drake. Next, nice step back, says Abby Jean. Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, they don't all have to be hubba hubba, but this one, this one, this is Branded Hearts by Shannon Drake, also known as Heather Graham, and this is from 1994, and they don't tell you who did the art. It is 420 pages. And here's the art. This is like a frontier story. It's the Old West where they had zippers. I like the yellow, like the use of yellow, but I also am questioning the choice of a zipper for 19th century clothing. It's definitely 19th century because it takes place in Colorado territory, and Colorado became state in 1876. So, yes, this is several generations before the zipper was invented. And okay, let's see. I think this is Regency, probably. Oops. 1810. Christina Dodd, The Barefoot Princess. She is definitely barefoot. That's a picnic that got out of hand. And going on toward the concept of medieval May, since I missed medieval March, we have the Marriage Prize. I know I've shown this one before because it's really, really cool. The Marriage Prize, which is, I think, 14th century. No, 13th century, 1258. But I just love this. I love this so much. Oh, it's gorgeous. And I'm going to try Roxanne. Abby Jean has the hard eyes. Yes, indeed. I'm going to try Roxanne Becknell again. I did a Is This Safe to Read? Are These Safe to Read? And I kind of concluded that the book I read by her, Mistress of Rosecliff, it had some elements that I did not particularly care for, and I didn't think it was necessarily worth it. I didn't think the book was good enough to like justify having to read those kinds of elements. This one is 1993, so there's a high potential for yikes. But I thought Mistress of Rosecliff was very well written. So I was like, I will try Roxanne Becknell again. It wasn't enough to make me not want to read other books by her. But this is The Dove at Midnight. That border is really cool. And this is the step back. And this is, I believe this is also medieval. Yes, wow. 1209, so very, very early 13th century. So those are some of my spring hopefuls so far. And like I said, since this is more of a fall book, I might defer it until that hair, says Abby Jean. I assume you mean that hair and not this hair. I know. And yeah, so I might end up deferring this one because it takes place in September. I may defer it or I may not. So yeah, I think I may rethink that because, like I said, I did pick all of these books back in February, and now that it's practically April, just a few more hours, and I may rethink what I'm doing over there. I've really got a mess going on right now. So yeah, So does anybody have any particular theme they're going for in May? I know Aina just posted earlier today. She posted her April TBR. It was a good video in which she outlines that Aina and I are going to be doing at least one buddy read, possibly two if it works out. And that's going to be Deep End by Ali Hazelwood is the one we're going to do for sure. We're going to start that one tomorrow, literally, because she owns it, but I have it out from the library, so I need to. I have it out until the 15th of April, and I want to have enough time for us to read it and discuss it as we go. So I wanted to. We decided we'd go for that one because the other book we were talking about buddy reading was Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. And that one we both own copies of. So we decided to prioritize the one that I'm going to have to return to the library before too long. Just try to, they're all trying to get away. They're trying to get away. I'm inclined to just let them. So, Abby Jean wants to know if anyone else is having connection issues. Okay, I'm not watching the live stream myself. I'm not watching the live stream myself, so I can't answer that question. But if anybody wants to help Abby Jean out by saying how their connectivity is, Nicole says, I'd love to read Lights Out with you gals. Okay. Yeah, get in touch with Aina. It's fine with me if it's fine with her. Kristen, I was gonna say, I remember, oh wait, didn't Kristen want to read Lights Out? Maybe I should ask her. And then I remembered that she was the one who was recommending it so strongly. So she's already read it. Yeah, and Kristen says, I'm doing Audible April because I can't guarantee Everand will work in the Philippines. And Nicole says, small hiccups, but nothing too bad. And Kristen says, I can't wait to see what you all think about Lights Out. Yeah, like I said, I was like, oh yeah, Kristen has this book. Maybe we should ask her. And then I was like, no, she already read it. And she was like, highly recommends it. So that's cool. But Nicole is interested. So yeah, let's work something out. Because I think Aina had to step away because food or something, I guess. Bio break of some kind. So yeah. But yeah, if she's cool with it, I'm cool with it. That again, that is probably, if it happens this month at all, it won't be until later in the month. So let's see, what else can I talk about? I'm just vamping. So right now I have two videos in progress. I have the one about revamping that downstairs space, cleaning it out, getting stuff organized, getting some books down there permanently. And I'm going to be talking about the candles I want to put down there too. So I'll be talking a little bit about the logic behind some of my candle and book pairings, but I do want to do a more full-fledged candle video, but that will eventually happen. And so I'm already working on the one about revamping that space downstairs, or revamping. I'm not totally moving stuff around. I'm just fully exploiting the resources of a bookcase. And the other one I have going right now is like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think I posted a video which was unpacking my mom's library books and deciding which ones I wanted to read. Now I'm doing a follow-up reading vlog where I talk about the books that I chose to read and a couple I chose not to read and why, and that kind of thing. So I'm working on that as well. Okay. Nicole says, time for me to go. My son needs mom's attention, and he hung in there until the past 30-minute mark. Have a great night, everyone. Good night, Nicole. Your son's a trooper. That's some patience. Appreciate his being patient. So bye, Nicole. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the couple of videos that I have in progress. Another one that I would like to do is the DVD collection. Haven't even started that one yet. And in terms of scheduling, I know I skipped last Thursday. I've been uploading consistently on Sundays and Thursdays, and last Thursday I just didn't. I made a conscious decision. I didn't forget or anything like that. It was a mindful decision because I needed to I didn't really have anything ready to go, and I didn't want to rush around trying to get something ready because that's just too stressful for me. And I am thinking what I might do going forward rather than uploading twice a week, because that plus midweek motivation, it's a bit much. And I'm proud of myself for sticking it out for as many weeks as I did, doing two a week. What I think I'm going to do now is always post on Sundays and then post on Thursdays if I have something like a library book returns video, because those don't take very much effort. Of course, now that I'm reading all my library book inventory down, then maybe it'll just be a general wrap up instead, because I won't have books to return if I'm constantly just reading the books I already own. So that's what I think I'm going to do. And of course, midweek motivation is going to be every Wednesday, and this is every other Monday. And this is going to be every other Monday. Kristen says, I think everyone is feeling the posting slump. Abby Jean says, I read a lot in March. I'm supposed to be mood reading now, but making TBRs is so fun. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a posting slump. I think I just need to uh, feel like I have a better idea of what the videos are going to be. Kristen adds, I did great content for my booktube, but I'm slacking hard on my main channel. Oh, I keep forgetting that you have a main channel as well. So yeah, I haven't ever checked that out. I should. I will. Yeah, so I don't know. Ugh. The thing is that okay. I also haven't necessarily felt like being on camera lately. I've just felt kind of blah and not really wanted to do that. And Anna says, I want to aim for at least one book video and one budget or food video a week. Yeah, I mean, TR is starting to feel a little tight. And yeah, so I'll be continuing with midweek motivation and doing this every other book talk with Sock every other week, every other Monday. Uh, just a reminder, next Monday, and not next Monday, Monday after next is going to be science fiction, which I will be exploring with Abby Jean. And Kristen says, I feel yeah, not wanting to be on camera. Yeah, it's just kind of like Abby Jean says, woohoo, can't wait. I am so looking forward to this. Yeah, I am really, really looking forward to that. So it'll be fun. But I do have some reading I need to do between now and then. Yeah. So those are just kind of what I've been thinking about. Like, how can I continue to have fun with this and not feel like posting is a horrible chore, or being on camera is a horrible chore, or, you know, that kind of thing. I think one thing that helps is that I actually really enjoy editing. I find it to be a fun process. Well, fun. I don't know if I would say it's fun exactly. It's more like I find editing to be just like really relaxing. And I just enjoy doing that. And yesterday what I did was I got a subscription to Vitivo.net, which is a place where you can get stock footage and also music that's royalty free, and you can use it however you want. But there is a subscription, and if you want to use music clips, that's you get 50 downloads a month, and you have to pay for 50 downloads a month. I mean, it's $25, so they're 50 cents each. It's not that expensive. Or it could also be stock footage, video footage. You can get a cheaper subscription, but that's only for the videos. If you want music, you have to get the bigger subscription. So I got a subscription for 1 month that expires tomorrow. And so yesterday, I was going through and making sure I had downloaded 50 audio clips. And so I have a lot of nice royalty-free music I can use for my videos. I mean, I mostly just use them for credit sequences, but I still I enjoy finding music to go with a vlog. I'm thinking I might get more ambitious with my editing and stuff as I go on. And maybe by posting less often, I can focus more on like post production and enjoying that process instead of feeling like pressured. I mean, the pressure is just coming from me. Nobody here, nobody who watches my videos at all has made me feel pressured. This is me pressuring myself. So yeah, you guys are great. Don't worry about that. And Kristen Lee says, that's great. Abby Jean says, man, hobby guilt is the worst. Yes. Third world problem right there. I think you might mean first world problem. And the thing about social media is that it's hard to take breaks, but disastrous if you don't. Well, if I were trying to build a social media empire, I would feel a little bit weird about it, but as it is, I'm not. Yes. Oops, yes, says Abby Jean, the first world. Yeah. Ana says, I'm a lazy editor. Too much effort for from for my no spoon brain. Yeah, that's the other thing is I think things are a little more consistent for me than they used to be, but I don't always know when I'm gonna have the spoons, what the spoon inventory is gonna be looking like from day to day. So, and I think in terms of doing stuff on YouTube, I think the feedback I've gotten from people is that the live shows are rather valuable. And not to say that the pre-produced content, pre-filmed content isn't, but that the live shows are actually interesting to people, helpful to people in various ways. And so I don't want to start canceling midweek motivation in order because I want to concentrate on pre-recorded. I want to have a balance between pre-recorded and um, thingy, pre-recorded and live shows. So Ana says, I enjoy our chats in your lives. Thank you, Ana. So do I. I feel like maybe I need to be, I'm trying to learn to be looser on camera when I'm doing pre-recorded because I think more of my personality comes through in the lives when I know there's somebody there, as opposed to when I'm doing pre-recorded content and the audience is a little more abstract and there is interaction because people leave comments and I appreciate that, of course, but it's more at a remove. And it's I feel I need to find that ability to come across uh, in the pre-recorded content with a little more personality, a little bit more me, and maybe a little less, not exactly stiff, but just more conversational. Like, I know that if I were to watch this live back and then watch one of my videos back, I'm probably more animated and moving around. Although I do move around a fair amount of my pre-recorded content. So I don't know. I gotta figure that out. And yeah. And that's the thing is that I can take time to figure it out because I don't feel like there's any pressure to build an immediate audience right away and get to a certain number of subscribers in a certain amount of time or even ever. So Kristen says, my goal this summer is to figure out how to do lives and choose what's best. Like to use my phone or a different device. I've just been using my computer. I tried doing it with my phone, and I was using my phone as a camera going through my computer because um, I'm kind of an analog kind of person. I and I just felt like the boost in quality by using my phone rather than my laptop wasn't worth the extra hassle. And yeah, Kristen, I might DM you and see if you might be interested in co-hosting a book talk, as Megan has done and Abby Jean will be doing. If you want, if it's like something you want to practice doing for lives or not, you can always DM me and ask me questions or whatever. Abby Jean says that's the best way to do it. It's best not to make goals of things you can't control, like a subscriber count or pounds lost, for example. Yeah, I mean, mm, I'm game, says Kristen Lee. Awesome. I feel bad now because I probably shouldn't have put you on the spot by asking you in front of everybody else. But yeah, I know there's a hair there. Get up there. Uh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll figure that out. So yeah, and I think It's like, I don't know. It's like following the stock market or something. And I look at the stock market and I'm like, my goal is to have such and such money in such and such time. And it's like, it's the stock market. There is like the worst thing you can, I don't know if anybody else is an investor, but the worst thing you can do as an investor is panic and sell and buy something else. And you end up spending a lot of money in brokerage and transaction fees and you don't get anywhere. You get better just by letting something slide, but it's hard not to. It's like, oh no, especially right now. Anyway, TMI. Let's see. Kristen says, I've done a few on other creators' channels, but I have yet to figure out how to do it in my own. And Abby Jean says, exactly, LOL. So yeah, well, like I said, Kristen, we can talk about how to do it and what the barriers are and different ways you can try it. Mm. I am starting to flag a little bit. I think I might have come to the end of my broadcast day. Plus, I got to pick this stuff up. It turns out that the best place to do a live is in my bedroom because I am very close. The router is just like 12 feet. It's on the floor below me, but it's just like on a diagonal. It's maybe 12 or 15 feet from where I'm sitting right now. So I want to get close to the router to keep those interruptions to a minimum. And I have all of this stuff piled around, and I'm going to want to put it away before I go to bed. Thanks so much for the show. Bye, everyone. Bye. Ana says, we did a stock market exercise in my AP government class in high school, and I won because I got up and withdrew my funds after selling my stocks when the banks and market crashed. Yeah, I mean, and Kristen says, all the hearts. I'm glad I caught you before you logged off. Have a wonderful night. I'm glad you did too. It was nice to see you. And I don't know. I mean, you're going to be on your way to the Philippines in like a week, slightly less than a week, or slightly more than a week. So, yeah, I don't even know if you're going to be able to be at a midweek motivation this week. Maybe while you're packing, you pack during the sprints or something. If I don't see you again before stuff happens, then I hope you have a wonderful, safe trip and you enjoy the heck out of yourself. And Ana says, have a good night. Thank you, Ana. Good night, everyone. See some of you for midweek motivation and some of you in 2 weeks' time for Book Talk with Sock and Abby Jean.